Thank you, Representative Cicilline. Our next speaker is Gail Golden. She'll be here to talk a little bit about the legislation she has in the State House to get Trump's tax returns released.
Good morning, everybody. I don't know if you can see, but there's a guy in the back who's holding, or maybe it's now a woman, I don't know, two people sharing a sign back there that says, "Democracy dies in the darkness." It is amazing to me that today we have this beautiful sunlit day, and what we're talking about is shining a light on corruption and lies in our government, because we are going to fight for our democracy. So thank you all for being here this morning. Much like all of you, I woke up on November 9th and was shocked that somebody who brags about sexually assaulting women, who had a political career of gaslighting America, ended up being our president. And I thought, what can I do as a state senator to make sure that this building behind us and all the people in it put up a good fight and make sure that the people of Rhode Island feel safe, welcome, and create an equitable society. And so I started talking with my constituents and fellow legislators to come up with some ideas that we could put out there that could make sure that we made everybody realize that we were going to speak up for the truth. And along with almost every single other one of my Senate colleagues, including Senator Caulin, who has joined with us here today as well, I introduced legislation on President Trump's Inauguration Day, requiring that tax returns would be disclosed in order to get on the Rhode Island presidential ballot. Now, I'm thankful that we have Congressman Cicilline down in D.C. fighting for us, and I know he was doing the same thing in D.C. I thought we might have a little bit better chance getting it through this building than down in the Capitol in D.C. So here's what I need you all to do. I need every single one of you to call your legislator and say, this is important to me. I want this bill coming to the floor for a vote. In the House, it is being sponsored by Representative Tany, and I know she's fighting alongside me to get this bill a vote. It depends on all of you. Speak up. You have been doing a wonderful job organizing and speaking with our federal delegation and speaking on behalf of Rhode Island. And we need you to use that voice to make change within our state house too. So thank you so much for all of your doing in that. I want to let you know that some of the other things that have been going on. A lot of people have been talking about women's activism, and you'll hear about from some of the great women who have been organizing women through our state since November 9th. But that activism is many generations long and comes from a state that was founded by somebody talking about resistance, and also somebody, a long heritage of women in this country, in this state, fighting for as abolitionists, as suffragists, who were making sure that we were having our voices heard. It has been remarkable to me to see what's been going up at the State House. Many of you come up, and there have been far more people flooding the State House every single day, telling us what is important to you and how we can change the laws in our state to make sure we create a Rhode Island that works for everybody. And so I'm very thankful for that. So I'd like you to take further action. Call your legislators. There are a few of us who got together and wrote a manual to this building behind us, because it can be sometimes difficult to figure out how things really work. You can find that on my website, gailgolden.com, and people posted it around Facebook and a lot of different places. That will give you a very brief guide to what goes on here and how you can get your voices heard. And do things like sign this petition. I know it's been blowing around a little bit, but it has lived through many days up on these steps and inside the State House, and I know there's a plan to have it there every single day, calling on our legislature to pass my bill that would codify protections to reproductive rights. We need to make sure everything that we can see is happening on the national level that we can protect in Rhode Island, that we are going to protect. And the third thing I wanted to make sure you all know about is that includes health care. There are many of us in this building who are trying to figure out as many different ways as possible that we can at least protect the basic principles of Obamacare while fighting to improve the system and create a better single-payer system. But while we're doing so, the Rhode Island Senate has introduced legislation that would take many of the protections in Obamacare, things like making sure that the insurance industry will continue to no longer do rating that charge you more if you're a woman or how old you are or what other ways that we had done so historically. Make sure that your pre-existing conditions are always covered. Ensure that our kids are covered until they're 26 and out on their own and hopefully have their own jobs and their own access to health insurance. A whole lot of those things we are working on the state level because we cannot depend on making sure that those things happen in DC. So please join us, call your legislators, tell them it's important, and keep on showing up because showing up makes a difference. Thank you.